Yo. Haha, you guys caught me talking. I'm talking. Uh all right. Welcome to Eight Questions with. It is the second of our Artist Week. It's our second show of Artist Week. Um Tonight we're talking to Artfully Blind with Diana, and we are so happy and so proud that we're able to do this. We had a sensational interview with Braden Duncan yesterday. You guys really rocked the house for that. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll get a few some of the same folks to come out and support um, this interview with Diana. And if Crystal comes in tonight, real lady electrician, I got your name. I went and looked it up. I won't forget again. Um, and I was negotiating. I got some news. I got some news once I break. I got some news. I'm going to be sharing with you because once I break out the calendar. Uh, woo, all right. Uh, so gonna have to do that right now because I want to get this going. Um, I know there's nobody here. Oh no, there's three people here. Thank you for showing up. Uh, that's awesome. Diana will be here shortly, within 10 minutes, I think. And so we are going to talk about the calendar because every show, every time we got to see this. So we added two new shows in November. We added two new ones. One I wasn't sure was going to happen. It was like TBA, and then one I negotiated for, and it's going to happen. I'm so tickled with it, and I'll tell you about it in a minute. So what we got coming up here tonight, we have Artfully Blind with Diana. She'll be here, like I said, in about 10 minutes. Tomorrow, we welcome in Rico and Dizzy from She Wines. They'll be here at 8 o'clock. Talk about their fantastic She Wines telling, seeing it's her take on these classic movies. So far, it's been outstanding. There is a small twist. There is a small twist for the next movie, which we may or may not tell you about tomorrow. I have to let Dizzy and Rico decide that, but they'll be here at 8 o'clock. And then on the 31st, we have a double header, and you're gonna be hearing that word a few times here in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So we have a double header on the 31st, Halloween. We have the IFC Midnight Nights will be on the Night Watch Zone, and we will be talking about The Wind for IFC Midnight movie, The Wind, The Demon on the Prairie, and it's going to be a really good movie. It's going to be exciting and a must watch. I do think it's going to be psychological horror. I think you guys will really enjoy it. We'll be breaking it down. Me, Knight, Ben from Cadaver Club, Coast to Coast, and of course the very spunky Coriander, who will be coming in there and also giving her 2 cents about The Wind. So we can't wait for that. That show will be at 8 o'clock on Sunday, 8 o'clock, and then at special start time at 9:30 here on the Half Cheetah Will View. We will be doing the finale of Spooktacular 2021. The full crew will be here. Will be here. Hobbs Horror, Mr. Bones, Jennifer Tochi, myself will be here to do the Wheel of Fun. We have tons of entries. In fact, I think Project Ellsworth and Big Daddy J also told me that they would be submitting videos, so the wheel will get even that much bigger. So there are other contestants coming to the show. It'll be a lot of fun, and we hope all you turn up for that. 9:30 start Eastern Standard Time. November rolls around, and this is what we got. We added a show for the first week of November, and we added a show for the second week of November. So November 2nd, we'll be talking to actress Augie Duke. She is one of the stars of the movie The Amityville Moon that was written and directed by Thomas Churchill. And she is one of the stars in the movie. She'll be here on November 2nd at 8 o'clock. November 3rd, we invite our friend Jonathan over from Platex 2. He is a fellow film community film buff collector. He likes classic movies. He likes Charlie Chaplin, Stooges. He's one of the nicest guys. He is what he is. When you see him do his videos, that's who John is. He's that cool of a guy. So we'll be talking to him about his films, where he got his love at, and talk about his collection. He's got an interview series called The Five, where he goes around, he interviews other film collectors. So we'll be talking about that, among other things. Thursday, we have two shows. We have two shows on the November 4th. We have, hey, Jaden, how are you, sir? How are you? We have two shows on November 4th. I'm going across the pond to England to talk to Laura Dove. She's one of the leading bloggers in England with her blog Five Little Doves. Tremendous lady. One of the best people I know. Her blog's immensely popular, and she'll be talking about her family and her travels all around the world. Her family's been quite a few places. They're like little jet setters for sure. That will have a 2:00 start. We'll be starting at 2:00 on Thursday for the interview with Laura Dove, and then I come back here at 8 o'clock, and we'll be talking to the mighty Jamie Olsen from Olsen Productions. She does it all: acts, directs, produces, and one of the coolest chicks I've met. I really like her. She's got skills, and I'm looking forward to talking to her face to face because I have nothing but respect for Jamie. I think Jamie is awesome, and so will you. And then Friday, we have a special show on Friday night at 8 o'clock Friday night. We welcome Eleanor Lambert to the show. Eleanor Lambert. She is the daughter of Christopher Lambert from the Highlander series and Mortal Kombat, and the daughter of Diane Lane, who starred in many great movies, including The Perfect Storm, among others, Must Love Dogs. So she'll be here under the Toucan Sun. So she'll be here on Friday the 5th. She is debuting. She's got a movie coming out called Now Time that she's debuting, her acting debut. And but she's much more than that. I did some research on her. She's very much a Renaissance woman. She's done some modeling. She's a terrific writer. That's really what caught me, is that she's a terrific writer. I read some of her blogs. She's got a lot to say, and so we'll talk to her on Friday, November 5th. November 7th on the midnight hour, we're doing comedy night. See, on November 9th, we welcome in Polly Shannon on 8 o'clock. On the 10th, we welcome Fran Winston. She's an Irish actress, and we'll be talking to her about her career, and that show will start at 2 p.m. Fran Winston. And then that night at 8 o'clock, we welcome Cedric Gegel to the show. Another really nice guy, truly nice guy, and he'll be here on the 10th. And then we get Candace Carella on the 11th. And not only if she's a fledgling director, but she's also a very successful wardrobe person. And our guest is here.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Diana. Hi, Diana.
Okay. Hi. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, Oh, there's no one in the chat? I'm looking at
This-
StreamYard.
Yeah, we have right now we have 2 people in the chat, 3 people in the chat, and we have 5 people watching.
Can you name the people in the chat? I was wondering if any of them are my friends.
If they're not, they will be.
Okay.
We have our friend Jaden's here.
Jaden Saw?
I don't know his last name. His he goes by it's a Jaden with an exclamation point and 0428. And
I
then
know Jaden Saw. Maybe it's the same person. Hi, Jaden.
let's see. Then we have Jennifer Tochi, and
Hi,
she
Jennifer.
yep, there's Jennifer, and then my good friend, my brother from another mother, Hobbs Hoare, is here in the house. And
Is that Mr. Bones?
Mr. Bones is not here yet,
Oh,
but Hobbs
okay.
is here.
Hi, Hobbs.
Scratch and Pete PA is here. Scratch and Pete. Hey, Pete.
Scratch and Pete. Hi, Pete.
Call Me V's here.
Hi, Call Me V.
So every and Hobbs will be dropping your link throughout our discussion, so you'll be making some new friends.
Okay, awesome.
Yep, that's what we do here. You look beautiful tonight, Diana.
Yeah, I know how to fix myself up compared to how you saw me this afternoon. But thank you.
Now, this is someone who I was fully expecting to show up. I knew they would, and I'm not disappointed. Pittsburgh Artist Studios in the house.
Oh yeah, that's my friend Mary.
You and Mary are like, you guys are like peas in the pod.
Oh no, yeah, we do live streams every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, Eastern Standard Time, but we might be alternating that with 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time sometimes to accommodate our UK and European friends.
Yes, I've had to do that too. I just mentioned on my calendar I have 2 shows with folks from the UK, and I have to start them at 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's saying hi to each other. Hobbs is here, so Hobbs has the wrench. I'm sure Mr. Bones will be here when she gets a chance. Shalisa's journal's here. So yeah, there's some people showing up here. Feel free to share us out too, folks, if you like to. That'd be awesome as well. So I love the background. Your lighting's beautiful.
Oh yes, I can change it to probably hundreds of colors. Maybe not hundreds, but maybe 25, 50 colors. And you can do different things like make it, flash, or make it slow on, slow off, or something like that. Yeah.
Well, that's yeah. I got to do something. I think I'm going to get a curtain for me. I think I'm going to get something like that and put it for a background. I don't know if people will want to see my ceiling fan.
Yeah, I used to have a curtain of lights, and I could never get into my wardrobe closets because I'd have to have them taped there. Because every time you took them down, they get terribly tangled. And as it was, I barely had them untangled, just to even have them up there. And then I tried that for a year. It was nice to have the little bulb lights and stuff, all one color. You can change them colors, but then I've tried green screen, but not for my art videos so much. On my other channel, I was doing some green screen stuff.
So I mean, yeah. I mean, I have to fix it up. I think what you're doing what you got now is amazing. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, I would like to have my artwork behind me. I love that, when artists do that, but I can't do that right now.
Okay.
Unless I put a little table in here. Maybe just temporarily put a little table and then lean my art up there. Yeah, I could try that sometime.
Does it take you how long does it, obviously it's important that you know your way around your living space. How long does it take for you to adapt to a change? Like if you were going to put a dresser drawer in your room there, or your art, how long would it take for you to adjust to that and to remember it's there?
Are you saying in terms of my vision?
Yes.
Oh, no. I don't have mobility issues. I have an invisible disability. I worked for 15 years past my diagnosis of legal blindness, continuing to work full-time as an art educator at the elementary level. and I had to stop driving, but I commuted by train, and it's invisible. And I think I used every now and then I'd want to be truthful with the kids, and I just want to let them know because I just to educate them that not all legally blind people are totally blind. And every now and then I would try to educate my kids, and they'd go home saying, our art teacher's blind. Our art teacher's blind, I'm sure. And then the parents would see me and they're like, oh, my kid's probably just exaggerating because I don't look blind. I mean, I have no mobility issues. I don't walk with a white cane or anything.
Okay.
I have no mobility issues, and it's just reading or reading movies, looking at the TV, which I accommodate everything for that. You could only tell that I might have a vision disability when I'm holding something right up to my face or using my magnifying glass. Yeah,
Okay.
see, blindness is on a spectrum. See, I just like no nobody knows this. Hardly anybody knows this that 10% of the world's blind population is totally blind. Only 10% of the world's blind population is totally blind. Blindness is on a complete spectrum starting at 2200 vision and then going all the way to total blindness on that spectrum.
So if anybody has a 22 vision, that means they're on their
22
way.
yeah, once you have 2200 vision, that's legal blindness.
Okay. Um, you how did that happen with you? I mean,
My
let's
vision?
do you want to talk about that first, or would you
Oh,
like to
yeah,
talk
I
about?
don't care. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I was unbeknownst to me or anybody, I was born with a hereditary retinal disease that didn't show up until my early 40s. It's very rare, and on top of that, I have even the more rare kind that instead of it showing up in childhood, it showed up in my early 40s. That's even more rare, and I'm very grateful and blessed for that. That I got to live my whole life until my early 40s with completely normal vision. Didn't even barely wear glasses, didn't wear glasses in school. I only started wearing glasses in my 30s just to drive or something.
Now, were you an artist? Oh, you said
I've been an artist my whole life. I've been interested in art pretty much, well, since 6th grade, 7th grade. Then in ninth grade of high school is when I was 14 is when I really thought I think I started having dreams. I think I might want to be an artist, and then I pretty much took it seriously after age 14. My parents totally supported me, and I did 2 pre-college sessions at art schools, Rhode Island School of Design. I got to get away from Pennsylvania and go to Rhode Island, live by myself, not by myself, but live in the dormitories on my own, and like feeling what college is like in an art school when I was 15 and 16. And I just like pretty much always taken it seriously, like ever since I was 14.
What college did you attend?
Oh yeah, the pre-college sessions when I was 15 and 16, that was Rhode Island School of Design. And then what happened was I had in my teens, due to difficulties I had in my childhood, in my teens, I started having problems and issues, emotional issues that interfered with my work and my studies and stuff, emotional issues that I actually had to go into a mental hospital when I was 17 years old. They gave me the choice. They said you could go live back with your mother, you could go live with your dad and continue private school as a day student, or do you want to go to a mental hospital? And I said, I think I want to go to mental hospital. I think there's something wrong with me. So
And
I because of that, my dad didn't even though I applied to a few colleges, my dad and I got accepted at a few, but he eventually said, "No, I have to stay where we live and go to the college that he taught at." I got to go 4-year college completely for free because my dad was a college professor. So it was just like, I didn't want to, but the good thing about that was in my junior year, he said, "Would you like to go to France for your junior year abroad and minor in French?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd like to get out of here." And I got so then I had stabilized by then, and they weren't so worried about letting me go to France by that time.
it's funny if we're talking about vision, and I was like something got on my ear off my glasses, and it was like a little knot, and I was just like, I said, how weird is that? It's like we're talking about this, and all of a sudden I got a little, in the leg of the glasses, it's like something got stuck on it, and it's like it was bothering me. Um,
Mm.
so, do you think the hospitalization was that because the pressure you put on yourself to succeed? Was that something?
No, no, no. That was because of the way I was raised. I was raised with not. I was raised with being left alone a lot. My parents got divorced when I was like 7 or 8, and then my mom took a full-time job that was an hour away as the head of a library, and she had to work hours from like 9 to 9 p.m. And so starting at age 8, she made provisions for me to go live next door. I mean, be taken care of all the way from when I get home from school to being put to bed by my next door neighbors, where they were perfectly nice people, very nice people, but that just that
Yeah,
made quite that. I mean, that just impacted me for life.
I can understand that. You really
And
didn't
then
have.
when I was starting at age 11, I said I got tired of like feeling like, I mean, they were nice and everything, and they tried to welcome me and everything, but I I I felt like it's not my family, and this is weird, and I feel like left out, and I feel very weird, and so at age 11, I told my mom, I think I'm old enough to take care of myself, and she let me. And so starting at age 11, I come home and I'm all alone from after school till 10 p.m. at night for like from age 11 to 15. So
Yeah.
those things impacted me and I think I might have been born with some kind of certain temperament and things like that that caused me to have issues.
Would you call yourself a perfectionist?
Like possibly, but um no, I don't think that maybe tendencies towards that, but um
Or maybe an
no, I think
overachiever?
there's other issues that are more prominent than that.
How did that play? How affect your art? I mean,
That
did you draw?
I got a lot of satisfaction and pride in my art, so I could feel good about myself. My art made me feel good about myself and made me feel like like a that I'm accomplishing something, and it made me feel good about myself and like that.
Good. Did you draw a lot by yourself? At your neighbor's house? Did you do
Mm.
that yourself?
No, when I was a child, when I was like before age 11 or 12, like I was not that kid that be drawing all the time. I like to draw and stuff, but I was not that kid that was drawing all the time. No. It was
Okay.
more than it was when I was like 6th or 7th grade that I started thinking like, "Oh, I think I really like art." And then 9th grade in high school, that was when I like, "Oh yeah, I think I really want to be an artist."
Now, or were
I went
you?
to college for art. My bachelor's degree is in art. I have an MFA in art from the Maryland Institute College of Art. I have a master's in education and art education. So I have two undergraduate and two graduate degrees, and plus also, and then I have a certificate in advertising design.
So I think it's safe to say that you probably do have some perfectionist tendencies because you're very talented. I mean,
I
you're.
looked at that. Actually, I recently looked at that. Like, are you a perfectionist? And I went through the things, and I'm like, well, maybe I think I am. And then I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe not. And I think yes, I definitely probably have those tendencies, but I'm not sure if that's my biggest problem. I don't know.
Um, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a problem that I wish I had.
No, in this
Tell
article,
you the truth,
yeah,
I wish I had that problem.
no, in our society, they glorify perfectionism. They think that, that's like in our society, that's, glorified and just like working too much, which can get into workaholism. But
Do you think that happened to your mother?
the perfectionism is glorified because really there's a big downside to it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. There is high risk. I mean, you're
You
right.
should see they really spelled out what perfectionism is, and it's like, actually, the perfectionists don't achieve as much as just the high achievers. The high achievers have a healthier self-image, and they really love going after they're really into striving for it. They were very into the striving for a goal, and then once they get a goal, they're happy and stuff. But the perfectionist actually works against them because they to them, it's very painful to go after the goal because they're comparing themselves to others all the time, and they actually achieve less than just the high achievers.
No,
The two don't necessarily go hand in hand. So this article really spelled it out very, really, really nicely.
now when you were in high school, I mean, and you think about junior, you said you that's when you decided that you thought you would have a chance to actually do this. I mean, obviously you were a really good student at high school. Um,
No, I was just average. I got some A's, B's, and before my mother moved, see, I was still living with my mother up to age 15, and I did pretty good. I did pretty good, and but then after that, when my life changed at age 15, I went to private schools, boarding schools, and all different kinds of private schools, went and boarding schools, and that's when I started having my problems. I couldn't do that good in school.
it was just the environment was changed. It changed, right? Now, were you drawing it? Were you still doing it? Were you still drawing? Did you still finding your creative feet in private
Yeah.
school? Okay.
So all
Okay.
throughout, like drawing and painting.
Yeah. So that was your outlet then.
Yeah, I think so.
And then that opened the door to art school. Now you went to Rhode Island, right? You said for the
Oh, no,
first.
that's like pre-college. When
Okay.
I was age 15 and 16 and 2 pre-college sessions. A lot of colleges do that now, like pre-college session in science or pre-college session and all different kinds of subjects. And
Yeah.
no, I went to the college my dad taught at in Pennsylvania,
What school was this?
Westchester University.
Okay, I've heard of it. Good school.
Yeah, they're good for music. Not so much for art, but really great music, and a lot of teachers get a lot of it's a big education program.
Uh, so you came over there from. I mean, how did you like Westchester? How did you like Westchester? I mean,
I grew up there. Well, I grew up in the suburbs of Westchester, and then my dad lived in the borough of Westchester, and yeah, I liked Westchester good enough, but I didn't wanna go to college in Westchester. I wanted to get out, and then my dad, because of my problems, my dad didn't let me, and so didn't so he didn't let me, so I had to go. But the good thing is I went to four-year college for free, and
yeah,
then and
yeah.
then
Now, now, when you were in the hospital, though, I mean, did they? I mean, did they? Maybe that's what they saw. Maybe they saw that you were understimulated. Maybe you weren't being challenged enough. That could cause a lot of issues as well. Plus abandonment issues, plus underachievement. Because you weren't being challenged mentally, so that could have
no,
caused a lot
I
of
went
problems.
to really once my mom moved when I was 15 and they gave me the choice, "Do you wanna live?" It was another choice besides the other choice I was talking about with the mental hospital. They gave me a choice, d do I wanna go visit live with my mother, or do I wanna stay where my dad is and go to the public school there, or would I like to go to boarding school? I chose boarding school. It sounded fun to me because 'cause I'd never had brothers or sisters, so I thought, "Oh, that I don't know, that kind of fun, go to a girls' boarding school," and the first year was fun. I did well, but then actually I started having problems in my junior year when I came back, and I couldn't complete that. And then that was when I went to the mental hospital, and they had a high school within the mental hospital, so I completed my junior year there. And then in my senior year, I looked around at different private schools and decided to go to a Quaker school,
Oh wow,
a
how
friend's school.
did you like that?
I like that. It was really cool. It was like the campus was like small, and it was like in a big part of the classrooms were so small. It'd be like 5 people in our class, and one in a house, and different rooms in the house would be our classroom. and then
Wow.
the- and then it was right next, and then it was next to a garage where the art room was. And then they had the friends meeting hall, the official friends meeting hall.
Just think how impressive that is when you go up to, when you put your college down, you sit there and say, I graduated second in my class without
Oh
telling
yeah,
them
just 18
without
people.
telling anybody there was only two people in the class.
18 people in our graduating class,
Oh
or
my God.
18 or 20 people.
That's not bad though.
That's small, I know, isn't it
Yeah,
so small? But I had a good time in my senior year. I had my
yeah, you
first
did.
first long-term boyfriend, and I had a lot of friends, a group of friends that we, like, partied all the time.
Um, but no, but you've got better mentally. Mentally, you got stronger. I mean, you're with your
Oh,
peers. You're
let's
with
see what
good
happened. Oh, yeah, because that was my senior year of high school. Yeah, I did get better. So, I don't know,
people.
my dad was still concerned about me.
Um, so so how did you like Westchester? I mean, you mentioned before you liked it, but you didn't necessarily want to go there. But I mean, I don't think it took you very long to decide that, hey, I'm here. I get a free education, so let me just kick some ass and take names. And you did.
And take
Did you get?
names?
Yeah. Did you get all your degrees from Westchester?
No. Uh-uh. No,
Where
no,
else? Where,
my bachelor's degree is from Westchester. My MFA, which is a Master's in Fine Arts, is from Maryland Institute College of Art, and my Master's in Art Education is from, Tyler School, Temple University.
the Temple University. That's a very good school.
Well, the Tyler School of Art, which is connected with them, that's really good art school.
Uh, wow. So did you always want to be a teacher?
Oh,
Is that
no,
something that
no, no, it was my 3rd choice of a career. See, I
well,
grew up in a family of teachers. I grew up in a family of teachers, and I'm like, I don't wanna be a teacher. I don't think
what
I
did
wanna
you
be a teacher,
what
and
did you want to
I
be?
like to be an artist.
Okay.
I and then so then I graduate with my bachelor's degree in art, and I'm like, "How do I be an artist? I don't know." I had no role models. Nobody in my family are artists. They're, like, musically inclined, and I'm like, "I don't know how to become an artist." So then I decided to spend oh, yeah, I spent 1 semester in Boston University in the master's in art the graduate art education program, and I liked it, but for some reason, after a semester, I thought, "No, I still don't think I wanna be a teacher. I don't think so. I'm changing my mind again." So, then I came back and got a 9-month certificate in advertising design, and then after that, I got a 2 years full of different kinds of jobs for 2 years, no, 3 years, different kinds of jobs doing all different kinds of commercial art, which paid horrible. I couldn't stick with that. It was like, I couldn't no benefits. You couldn't make any money for 3 years. I'm in no job security. I'm in one job, and they're like, "I don't think this is gonna work out." Probably because of a personality thing. Like, it was a two-person thing, and I would be her assistant. So, "I don't think this is gonna work out." And then somebody else, just like 3 weeks before, I thought you were gonna take the ball and run. I don't think this is gonna work out." And I'm like, "Oh my God, there's like no job security." So, and then I did some other sign painting. This woman her gift signs are sold out throughout the country, like lighthouse signs, and all those things. And I worked for that for several years, but I mean, not several years, maybe just a year. And then that's when I realized I should probably go back to try teaching again. And I was happy with that, and I did a 2-year graduate program in art to get my teaching certificate along with a master's in art education, and then at age 30, I started teaching, and I stayed with that career for 25 years.
Uh, do you think you're a good teacher? Would you say
I can be good. I have my good days and my bad days. Overall, I feel like I was a teacher that tried hard, but didn't always make the mark. I don't know.
better yet, would you send your if you had a daughter, would you send your daughter or son to you as a teacher?
Yeah, if they're a good student. Like, see the kids that tried to create trouble and or, be difficult in the classroom, I was hard on those kids, like whereas the kids that behaved and loved art and wanted to do it, oh yeah, like yeah, I'm a great teacher for them.
Uh, Now during this time when you were still working at the advertising and deciding to become a teacher, were you still painting for yourself? Did you have your own gallery? I mean, your own little studio at the time, and
Oh,
were
no,
you
I
painting
didn't
for
have a studio at that point, no. Oh, no, I was still living with my dad and had a bedroom, like, and he has a small house, and I was, like, age 25 to 28, I'm still living with my dad. I couldn't even make enough money to live on my own, And so,
That's like today. No, no,
so
no, no shame in that.
I know. So then I'm just like, so that's when I knew, like, okay, so no, and I kept doing my art. Yes, I kept doing my art and doing a lot. I'm also big on journaling, art journaling and writing journaling, doing
Okay.
lots of writing journaling and then sketchbooks and little paintings and I think I took some classes with I was keep taking art classes to like learn watercolor and stuff like that.
Um, w- when did you still have, when did you have an inkling that, like, when you look at your art, what was the first time you actually showed your art to people, as far as like I'm an artist and this is my art? I mean, like, basically, and tell us about like the first piece you sold, like the
Uh,
first time someone bought a piece. I mean, that
oh
must
yeah,
be,
when was that? I only have a vague memory about that first. Oh, okay. That one is in high school. I'm not sure if that's even a true memory or not, but yes, the definite one that I remember for sure was I was in my junior year abroad, and the lady who ran our French exchange program, the lady who ran it, she was a big opera fan, and she tries to expose us to art, even though we're like learning French, but she's always on the side. She's like trying to take us to opera and educate us about opera, and she loved Puccini, so she wanted me to do a portrait of Puccini. Then she paid me for that.
wow. Okay, that must have been pretty cool though, huh?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I think every artist always remembers their very first time when they sold. You know,
Yeah.
whether it be a musician, a writer, an
Mm,
artist yourself, someone working woodcraft, or anything like that. I think
yeah,
you always remember your first. You always remember the first.
yeah.
So don't ask me what I booked. Well, don't ask me which bands I booked first, because I could not tell you. Um, I could not tell you my first solo show. Uh,
Because you're a musician?
I was a talent buyer. I booked live bands in venues. I'm
Mhm.
saying that, and I'm going like, I cannot remember the first band I ever booked, but then again, I wasn't playing, so that's probably it. Uh,
Uh,
so here you are. Now you're. I mean, the first year was the first year teaching. Was it the hardest for you? I mean,
Not the hardest. It was hard. Every year was hard. For 25 years, pretty much every year was hard because it would things changed all the time. Like some years I had a classroom, some years I didn't. Some years I'd be in one school and then they'd say, no, you could be in two schools now. And it's like just stress all the time. Yeah. So no, first year was not my hardest.
um, now, did your parents know about this order? About your vision? Did were they aware of that? Had there been any family history? Like your Uncle
No,
Joe, or
no, see, it's an extremely rare retinal disease and it's hereditary, yes, but the way it works is that both parents have to give recessive genes. Like that's very rare to have to each parent has recessive genes to pass this on, so that makes it extremely rare. And yes, it must have been in the family, but it's not in the immediate family and it must have been generations past.
wow, else is bad luck.
Uh,
Um,
I don't look at it as bad luck.
um, you mean only because there was no warning? I mean, was there anything anybody
Yeah,
could have
the
done?
good thing about it is I didn't get it in childhood. I'm
Yeah.
so I'm forever grateful that I didn't get it in childhood and that I have the more rare kind that I could have normal vision my whole life until my 40s. So if I had to have this, I had the best way you could have it. And I didn't lose my job because when I became legally blind, I didn't lose my job. I was able to keep that for 15 years.
That
And
that that tells you one thing. It tells me and everybody in there in the chat, you were a hell of a teacher. Yeah, you were.
Mhm.
Yeah, you were. I mean, to deal with that for 15 years and still educate children and still make art. Yeah, yeah. You're amazing. It's an amazing thing, Diana.
Thank you.
Um,
I guess when in the blind
Mary Mary saying that too. Mary says teaching is hard. Yep.
Yeah, in the blind community, when people say, "Oh, you did," a hero to me because of what you can do as a blind person, and we have to learn to say, no, I'm not a hero. Anybody could do this, and it's like, no, I don't. I guess that's not really true.
No,
That
because not
not
everybody.
everybody could do it, and I have strength that I was able to overcome and work and overcome my obstacles.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would have just given up, Diana.
See, no, so when I had, had recently become known that I was legally blind and stuff, which that's a story in itself of how I became known, how the doctors communicated to me in a very roundabout way over the course of about a year, which is very weird. Like the DMV didn't even take my license, so I didn't. Anyway, so now I forgot what I was going to say because I'm not into that story.
You're not what?
Now I forgot what I was going to say because I got all into that other story now.
Uh, yeah, sometimes doctors, you know what?
What was your
You know,
question?
you know what it is? Doctors are like that, though, aren't they? I mean,
I don't know. This is my own experience of like something serious where they have to tell me. I mean, I've never had any other kind of disease where they have to let me. I don't have never any, always just checkups. I mean, I've never had any dealings with doctors that much. And the way it happened was that, okay, so over the course of 5 years from an age 35 to 40, they could not correct my vision to 20/20, but they didn't know why. So I kept driving and I really didn't notice any diminished vision. I'm like, I keep driving and I'm going on and like, and I tried different holistic things like people that try to figure out if they don't know what it is, could I find out through some alternative healer what I have or something? Maybe it's blocked energy or something like that. So I was always looking like searching for things like that during those 5 years, and then finally in the 5th year, I developed the final symptom of a blind spot in my central vision, which I'm like, then they knew what I had, and it's like, so then. Okay, now they told me what I had. They didn't tell me you're legally blind. They didn't tell me that. They just told me you have an extremely rare retinal disease and da 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 da. And then, and so a few times in the following year, I mean, I kept driving. And at one point, one doctor told me, you're not supposed to keep driving right now. And if you do, you could have a horrible lawsuit that if you hurt somebody else, they could sue you for all you're worth. Because I had a patient like that. They sued her for all she was worth because she refused to stop driving.
I don't think it was you refusing. You just didn't know.
Oh, I think I was in denial or something because yeah, so that happened, and then it was, like, weird, and then it was, like, a few months later, I had an ex-fiancé, and I was thinking of moving to the neighboring state over, and I asked the eye doctor, "Well, how could I pass the vision test?" He goes, you can't pass the vision test. So I don't know how much of this is me in denial or the miscommunications with doctors. And then finally, the final time where I finally knew was that I'm in my art studio. At that time, I had an art studio, and I'm just talking for 5 minutes with my doctor on the phone about like something like, and then he says, "Well, with your level of legal blindness," and I'm like, "What? I'm legally blind?" There you go.
Yeah.
The
Isn't that-
DMV didn't like take in our state, the DMV doesn't revoke your license or anything.
Now, did you notice that the problem? I mean, you noticed the problem, but where did it first manifest itself? When you were driving, or when you were teaching? Or when you're teaching or doing
No,
your
it
art?
just showed up in the checkups when I just wanted to go get glasses for just a checkup, and they were like, "Oh, we're not able to correct your vision to 20/20." So the diminishment happened very gradually, nothing sudden. Like I didn't even notice, and I'm like, "Oh, you can't correct it to 20/20." Oh, in those 5 years, I just don't remember that I had any issue with. It was just a it was a diminished. I had not reached 2200 by then. That was not legal blindness. So. And my
Um,
glasses probably did help somewhat and all that, so for those 5 years.
I heard you mention an ex-fiance. Did your vision cause trouble with him?
Oh, did it cause trouble with him? No, nothing that he ever would come out and say, and nothing that he would ever say that is, but he had other issues. He was a psychiatrist himself, And I was thinking, oh, it's like here, like people usually think badly of psychiatrists, but here is a psychiatrist. I'm thinking this is somebody that works on themselves. They're aware of their issues. I was like thinking good things, right? No, it's like
Well,
he
rough.
he was in four he was for 5 years, he was in psychoanalysis where you lay on the couch, really Freudian. You lay on the couch 4 days a week for 5 years. And okay, and so we got engaged in our 3rd year of dating, and then we got engaged, and then he could never commit to a wedding date. So then then I dated him for 3 more years, and I'm like, when's our wedding date? When are we gonna He could never commit to a wedding date. And then I
Wow.
said, well, we're in our early 40s. Like if we were going to have children, you always said maybe you want to have one child. And he said the most bizarre thing, mind-blowing thing. I can't say it here on air. The most mind-blowing thing to me about having kids, about what situation he would prefer. And I'm like, what? And that was when I left him after 6 years. And this is you after 5 years of psychoanalysis. And you want that situation of, okay, you know what you tell me? You tell me, I don't know if I should say.
So
It's
you don't need to share that, Diana. It's okay.
okay.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was the most mind-blowing situation of what kind of situation he would want if we were gonna have kids, what kind of situation he'd want. And it's the most mind-blowing, bizarre thing you could imagine coming out of the mouth of somebody you think that might have their act together, but no, they don't.
You don't tell me. You don't have to tell me, but I'm sure he probably wanted you to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom. That's
No,
not.
that's
That's
not
not.
bizarre.
That is pretty bizarre now these days.
Well, we're not talking about that's not bizarre. There's
Uh,
something I'll tell you. I don't care. I can be gotten there because he said, I'll stay with you, but I prefer you be artificially inseminated by somebody else, but I'll stay with you. What? That means you don't really want to make a commitment. And that means he's out. He's not financially committed. That means there's
oh my
nobody to help me.
Okay. Wow. That you're
Isn't
right.
that mind blowing?
Yeah, you got me. You got me. I would never have saw that one coming. But I do know that whenever there's a condition, I mean, this is especially with when there's children involved. When there's a child, like when one of the spouses is sick,
Uh,
the divorce rate's like 70%. And when there's a child involved, a divorce rate can go as high as 90%. Which is absolutely drives me absolutely bonkers when I heard that. I was just stunned.
90% at what point?
If there's a child and he's severely disabled, uh,
Oh,
there's any medical condition, 90% divorce rate. If the spouse is sick, not kids, just your wife or your husband, if they're seriously ill,
yeah.
70% divorce rate. They can't handle it. They can't handle it. They don't have the skills to handle. So they leave.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now you're I bet you when you got your diagnosis, I bet you walked inside your studio and I bet you painted up a storm.
Yeah. Oh, when I got my diagnosis?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you
well,
turn did
at
you
that
just turn
point,
right away?
I painted a lot I did paint a lot. Teaching didn't stop me from painting. A lot of people say, "I have a full-time job, I can't do my art." No, well, I guess because I don't have kids. I don't know if that was why, but I always made time for my art. I kept showing my art in exhibits, getting art grants, and I was a professional artist as I was also a teacher. And then for 7 years, it was the best situation. I had an art studio in a building with 100 other artists, and it was so awesome in the city.
I bet it was. I mean, the
Yeah, for 7
collaboration.
years.
Wow. What was your first exhibition? Where did you do your first
My
exhibition?
college. Well, yeah, my senior year of college.
What do you what type of art do you do? I mean, what type of
I just you can't. Ugh, that's one of the problems with me is that for in the commercial art world and commercial galleries, I'm not what they're looking for because I don't consistently create the same style. They want for money reasons, monetary reasons, and which can stifle an artist. because artists need to evolve and grow their styles. But for monetary reasons, galleries want to see you create that same style over and over and over and over again. Not that I have anything against it, I just cannot make myself do it. I mean, or I have tried put together different bodies of work, and then after that I would try to sell them, but I wasn't trying to approach a gallery with it. So the kind of
I
work
love
I
that.
do is I just have tried so many different styles, many different mediums.
I like that. I see. I love that. See, I don't. What you said before about them wanting the same thing. Um, that's one thing. Like, it's weird. It's like I don't like the blues, right? Blues music. I don't like blues, and I don't like jazz because that same reason what you just mentioned is because they stifle the creativity of the artist. They don't allow the artist
Really?
to grow. No, no,
The whole blues music, you mean, originates from that?
no. It's blues is it's like if you're a blues artist and you want to go out there and you want to put some, you want to put a little rhythm of blues into it, or you want to put a different kind of riff into it. A lot of fans, they don't like that. They won't let the artist experiment. Jazz is the same thing. Jazz is really rigid and really tight. There's very few, fusion jazz is like a bastard child of jazz. Like I'm a fusionist player. Well, that's because you're combining two different styles, and purists don't like that, and they'll tell you that, and next thing you know, you're back there playing that little. It's maddening. So when you're sitting there and telling me that, I love that idea. I love that you did whatever the hell you want. You're experimental. I think that's great. I couldn't imagine drawing the same thing in the same style over and over. I would like to draw different things too,
But some people really like that. They just like that. It's like, they love doing the same subject matter, and then they can be creative with that, I guess. But
Your friend Pink Prozac's here.
oh, hi Pink. Thanks for
Uh,
joining. Thanks for joining us.
Made it. Yay, Diana, and threw you a couple of kisses. uh, that's all right. That's all right. That's what it's all about, right? Thank you for coming out, Pink Prozac. Appreciate it. So you went in there and you just I mean, you were scared though, right? When they said legally blind, I mean, were you just
The day I found out that I'm legally blind.
yes.
Yeah, which was a totally different day about it, maybe within months or within a year, 12 month period of when I found out I'm legally blind. That was two different things. So, yeah, so when I found out I was legally blind, I was I was shocked. Yes, I remember I was with my ex-fiance at the time, and I cried a lot, and I cried a lot a few times. And then after that, I'm like, the driving issue came up, and I was thinking like, I'm not going to stop driving. I mean, no, they're not taking my license. I feel like I can when I know where to go, I can drive. But no, so I was working with a therapist at the time, and she said the statistics is that when people are told to stop driving, especially a lot of times it's elderly people, they don't stop driving until they've hurt themselves or somebody else, because we are such a car culture world, whatever, car culture, that it turns your life upside down. You have to really adjust your life to how you're going to live your life, not being able to drive. It dictated where I bought my house. It dictated where I bought my house. I had to be, go ahead.
So again, to go back to that after you got your diagnosis and now you're in there, and now did you just go overboard? I mean, did you start doing more and more exhibits? And tell us a little bit about your style. I mean, you said it's your styles, all styles, but I mean, let's just say you're going to draw let's say you're in the mood to draw today. Today you're in the mood to draw.
Well, I could show you what I drew today. I could show you what I painted today on my iPad.
All right, let's see that. I want to see that.
Oh, it's one of my favorite. My iPad digital is one of my favorite forms of art. I've been doing it for 8 years because I used to commute for 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours a day, which that was an impact because I couldn't drive. So 3.5, 4 hours a day. and I took up, and I didn't want to use a sketch pad, so I started doing art on my iPad, and then I did art on my iPad because I can hold it up to my face. It makes doing details much easier, and all that for 8 years now. Okay, hold on, let me get it. Just a moment. So, okay, here. I did this today. It took like a couple hours. Wait, can you see this?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Look at
Well,
that.
it's easy to do the details on an iPad because I can hold it up to my face, and you can trace. So I did trace the line drawing before I painted, but tracing only helps you with one thing. It does not help you with where the color values are and all that, the light and shadows and all that.
What do you mean by color
Well,
volume
like on
value?
the face where the light areas are, the midtones and the shades.
Okay. That how long would it take you to draw a piece like that?
This took me
Or to
about
paint
this
or
took me
paint?
like an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Now, do you okay, you mentioned on the iPad now, do you draw on like a blank paper and then print it out, then draw it, or you actually draw it on the computer now?
No, I have worked both ways, but I have
Freehand and computer?
I use my iPad as a tool in different ways. Like suppose like one way that I use it is that um I oh yeah, I get the composition. I get the composition through the iPad. Like I draw it like if I want to put it in make it an acrylic painting. So I establish my composition just through a line drawing because the iPad lets you move things around without erasing. You can if you have things on different layers, you can just move things. You can increase things. You can decrease things. It's like it totally is what I need because all the time when I'm doing an acrylic painting, like, but what if I put this here or what if I did that there and I can't visualize it? I want to see it. And if I do it, then that's a lot of work. And I did that. Now I got to do it. So with the iPad, it's like, make it bigger, make it smaller, change the color instantly, change the color, do this, that. And I can erase so easy and I love it.
Right, right. So you actually, and have you transferred? Do you like
Oh,
for a
so
for a picture like that? Could you set that up on an easel and then freehand it? The same picture that you drew? Can you freehand that, or is that or do you do that? I mean, because you have a much bigger canvas, right? I mean,
so what are you saying? Like, do
could you take a picture? Can you take your pictures off the iPad? Can
oh,
you put,
and like and project it onto my canvas?
right, right, yes.
No, I've never. I yes, I do have a small little projector thing that I haven't used that in a long time, which I used to use it a lot, but I that I could like do the drawing and establish the composition on the iPad and then project it onto a canvas. That's possible.
Uh, when you
No, but
when
not by using the iPad. It's like you have to print it out and then put it under the projector.
Right, right. So you have to put it there, then you're able to. Um, so is it hard for you to mix colors and paints? I mean, what do you work
No,
with? Do you work
so
acrylic or watercolor?
I also have the more rare kind of my retinal disease where I did not lose my color vision, and I think that's for a reason. I am a colorist. Whenever people look at my art, they always say, "Oh, I love the colors. I love the color." I'm just like a colorist, so I I feel like the fact that I didn't lose my color vision is kind of like a sign to me that I'm a colorist, and I'm meant to keep using color. To the
The color is called an inker, right?
No, a
No.
color I mean, calling myself a colorist that and the fact that, um and that I love to use that color is like a predominant part of my work.
Uh, what kind of reactions do you get from people when they find out when they go to an art show, at a convention, or a gallery, and they find out that that you are legally blind? I mean, the names there. but a lot of people don't really read names. They just go in there and see what they see. What are the reactions when they see you and
They
they
don't
find out?
let's let's see, I haven't had a show in a while, in a public show,
Oh,
been
there
at
you
an opening or anything, like and I'm trying to think in the past, like, when I had used to have open studio shows in my art studio, and I just I don't know, I get
Braden Duncan was here yesterday, and she commented about they had lost a lot of the shows and a lot of the galleries, due to what happened. She says there
mhm.
some are coming back. There are some coming back. There are some that did not
Yeah,
come.
I noticed
It's
that.
gonna be a
Yes,
little. I think it's gonna be slow.
in that my women's local women's caucus for art in Philadelphia, which has given me great. I've gotten through association with them. Not that they gave it to me, but through association with them, I got an art grant one year. I got my a solo show. I mean, they didn't give me the solo show. I just having the connection with me got me the possibility to get the solo show and um been in a bunch of group shows and they're a wonderful opportunity. They've given me wonderful opportunities.
Yeah, I don't think they would. I think they respect you too much to give you anything. That I don't think you would. I don't think you're the type of artist that would appreciate that. I think you like to earn your way. You like to, you want to be known for your skills.
No,
You know,
I just mean that, um, I don't know, like
because we were
some,
talking about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
mm, yeah, I guess that's what I mean. Yeah.
Because Braden was mentioning about, we're talking about the how pictures get, she worked as a curator for a minute, and so she went around, she picked all the pictures and, all the art and for the gallery and for the exhibition. And I'm just thinking, I'm sure that's what the curator did with you. I'm sure that they, for you to be shown that your work had to stand out. So anytime you got exhibited, it wasn't because they felt sorry for you. It's because
Yeah,
your work.
nobody know like, no, when I applied in the past, when I've applied to juried shows, nobody knows I have a vision disability.
Yeah,
Now here's an advantage where it became an advantage for me because one year as a as an art educator, they had a grant available in the state that I taught in that you had to be an art educator slash professional artist. And I'm like both. And I'm like, oh, let me apply for this $7,000 grant. And I got it. And I because I caught their attention in the first sentence of the proposal. I said, although I'm a legally blind artist and art educator, I have a vision for my work with my children and my art.
yeah. That's you're being absolutely 100% honest.
So
And
I think that
you get the skills to back it up. Do you have any other pieces that you could show us? I'm sure the people
yeah.
would love to see some. I would. And can do you have a website and can people
Oh
buy
yeah,
your art?
like the art that I make on my YouTube channel is not the art that I actually show in art shows or anything. It's I don't know, it's just more fun art, I guess. And so if you want to see the art that's actually art that I've actually sold, I mean, oh yeah, there's my Etsy shop where that's where I've sold stuff, and then there's my website where I've actually sold art in art shows, and that's serenitystudioart.com.
Okay. SerenityArt.com. Okay.
Serenity Studio Art.
I can find it. I am so tickled. I'm having a blast. This is amazing. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm having fun.
Yeah, I told you you're gonna have fun tonight.
Yeah, I know. Oh, okay, see this I'm not showing anything of serious stuff. This is like art that I did last December. I was doing a bunch of Christmas art and so can soft pastel candles. I love painting candles with flames on black paper. Soft pastel, soft chalk pastel.
Interesting. Interesting. Why a candle? Is that one of your strongest? Is that one of your?
No, I don't know why. I guess probably I was looking through ideas and the candle image came up for seasonal things, and I thought, oh yeah, I like the candle. Okay,
Yeah.
here's some fun Halloween art that I've been doing because I was trying to do a 31-day Halloween challenge, but I just couldn't do it. I did half the month, and so each day had a prompt. It's within one of the Facebook groups, and so here's like a demon. So the prompt was demon, and I just made a she demon.
Jaden's saying that Artfully Blind with Diana has a Facebook group. Do you have a Facebook group? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. I'm not active in it. I've hardly done anything. I do have actually have a few hundred people that are members, and I used to be active in it, and then recently, I mean, for the past year or even more, I don't do much in it, and so I know I should probably do something with it. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's, now, can you draw cats?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So here's a fantasy landscape.
That's a scarecrow.
No, here's the scarecrow. A gnome scarecrow.
Look at that, Hobbs. It's a real scarecrow. It's an American scarecrow. we have a running joke about scarecrows here.
Oh, and it's a gnome. I love gnomes. So I had to make it a gnome scarecrow.
Now, how long would that take? That's not done by computer. That's done by all hands.
See, I don't just do computer art. I'm a multimedia artist.
Yeah. Now, how long would it take you to do a piece like that?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't really time myself ever. So maybe it took 45 minutes or an hour. Maybe it less. I don't know. Maybe 30 minutes maybe 30 to 45 minutes or now.
Wow, that is now what material is that?
Oh, that was soft chalk pastel on black paper. Wow. Was it? Yeah. No, that was paint. I'm sorry, that's acrylic paint on black paper. That was acrylic paint on black paper. And then I'm trying this. I was following this one artist and doing some of her tutorials. So this was like a fantasy landscape.
That is so pretty.
And then
you like butterfly.
Yes, I do. Then I have a bunch of art journals. So here's my fairy art journal. So all the things about like those aren't that good, but fairy folk, fairy woodland folk. Here I'm not in art journal. I'm not always trying to make things like that great, but fairy folk, woodland folk.
Now, is a journal a good place to experiment? I mean,
it is. But I find in the art journaling community, they do like great pieces, and I'm like, wow, you can't hang that up on a wall. I don't get it. I don't get like they do such great work, and then they turn the page and actually paint on the back, and I'm like, I don't get why do you make beautiful work and you're gonna not and you can't hang it up and so yes, I try to, I don't know. I try to make it like I should try to make it more experimental, but that fairy.
Yeah, look at that fairy. It's outstanding.
And then a fairy where the birds singing. This is watercolor or maybe a little mixed media.
Wow, Now, do you do what other artists do for do you ever do street fairs, or expos?
I tried that. Yeah, art fairs, art festivals. So, let's see. Again, there's this thing in our city where they have this thing this week. I mean, annual thing. It's called Art for the Cash Poor, and all the art has to be either under 100 or under 200. I forget which it is, and all your art. And then, so I even bought like an art tent because I thought I would go more in that direction. I bought like a art tent, and I was looking up trying to be in art festivals. Well, I have to with my vision, I need to have somebody to drive me, and my husband, he doesn't want to do it, and he doesn't want to go to these things because I don't know, but because he thinks the people like the people try to like talk you down on your prices and stuff, but I did really good that one art for cash for the poor. I did that one in conjunction with a friend of mine. That one went well, and then I tried another one at another town, and that didn't go well. And then let's see, and then and then I tried there was a art for the cash pour again, and I got an indoor table, and I was disappointed. Like, I got all this work together that I thought people would like at a whole price range from $5 to like maybe 100 something dollars. And the only things that sold were the $5 ones. And at that, my husband got disgusted because with the $5 ones, people were trying to talk down from $5.
Oh, Jesus.
Just a
Oh,
few, just a couple people. And I don't know why that had to turn them all off from it.
mm-mm. I think just the idea of someone actually doing that, though, it's insulting. I'm sure that I'm sure in the right circumstances, he probably would have explained that to
Oh,
him
and
a
then
little
there
bit
was
better.
yeah, so that's how it is with the festivals. I'm not going to go that route.
Now, is your husband an artist as well?
No, he dabbles in art every now and then, like only a few times a year. He's bought a bunch of art supplies, and and then he started doing it a lot, and then he just like let it go, and that was about a year or so ago, and he doesn't have the inclination to try to do any more again. Maybe I guess when he feels inspired, he might try it again or something. He
Okay.
is able to copy, like he copied this abstract style one time, and well, he actually saw this abstract thing and he said, I can paint that. He was like, he was with a previous relationship, and he said, oh, I can paint that. So then he went home and he painted it, and then he wanted to go get it framed, and the framer was saying, who did this? And he said, I did. Because this kind of work is sold in New York City all the time. And I think he sold it to the guy.
Wow. Wow. That's not the. Well, he should really. He should take the bit. He should actually go back and do some more. But I love the colors. Now, do you? I know that some like Braden mentioned how, and our other friend Angela, she mentioned that she can take her picture, the original, and then she makes copies of it to sell at the auction, at the at the art festivals and the art conventions and whatnot. Is that something you do as well?
At the art shows, at art,
No,
I'm not doing art festivals. I mean, I'm
no,
not.
no. I mean, if people wanted to buy your art, I mean,
Oh,
you make
I'm trying to get print in the past on my Etsy shop. See, recently the most that I've sold anywhere is on my Etsy shop. That's where I made the most sales in the past few years. And um, I did a collection of like Mother Earth series and all like this Mother Earth series theme, and and it was all digital art, So that can only be sold in prints. And I did sell a few prints, but then a few months later, I made another collection, and that is oh yeah, that was my alcohol abstract florals and abstract landscape alcohol ink paintings. And the thing is, I wanted to make sales and stuff. So a 9 by 12 original painting I was selling for $28. And I'm like, I did that for a while just to get sales up and stuff. And then after I did that for about a year or so, I was like, those prices are too low. And I raised my prices. So now all my original art is what it should be selling for. And now what I need to do is I got to put in prints. I have to get the prints set up.
right. Your friend Designs by CAD Pro says, "Hello, Diana."
Hi, Cat Pro. Hi, Cat Pro. So glad you joined us.
And I gotta
He's
say
very
hi.
busy. He's very busy with his full-time job. So um he said he was gonna try to get here. So glad you made it.
That's awesome. Thank you for coming, CAD Pro. Mr. Bones is here. He's dropping links. Thank you, Mr.
Hi,
Bones.
Mr. Bones.
I think Mr. Bones is starting to become rather well known in our community. Tremendous help and welds a very cool blue wrench. And thanks again. He's dropping the links to not only your page but also to your Etsy page.
Thank you.
We'll be doing all that too in the description box below after the show's over. So if anybody wants to come over and buy a piece of art from Diana.
Yeah, I don't have my prints in my Etsy shop yet. So, oh, you can buy prints though on my Fine Art America, which I don't have that listed on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm in Fine Art America, and that's where you actually can buy prints of my stuff, or print and have prints that stuff that's printed out on all different kinds of merchandise.
like cups and
Yeah,
and magnets?
blankets, anything, handbags, like with like so many different things, and that's through Fine Art America. I hardly ever make I never make any sales there. The sales that I made the most in the past few years has been on Etsy.
Yeah, I think people really seem to like that. Seem to like Etsy. They seem to be really in the about trying to protect the artists as well.
Yeah, I like that. People go there knowing like, okay, yeah, there's gonna be handmade stuff, and I don't know. So they market it well. Etsy markets well, and so you can get good traffic.
Have you ever had any issues with art thieves?
No, I I've been concerned about it. I used to be like, um, what was I? No, that was a while ago. I can't even remember. I At some point I was concerned about it, but I can't even remember. But uh, no, I talked about that with a friend of mine. Oh, she's a professional artist with gallery representation in 3 galleries around the country. She was giving us a lot of good tips on licensing, which I that's something I might be looking into, licensing. Um, but s- art thieves, what was she saying that she was worried about? People were saying, "Are you worried about somebody would steal that?" And she's like, "The thing is, oh, I forget what she said. Something about uh the copyright. Oh, I can't remember. The copyright protects you, but no, so that's I don't know that much on that subject."
Yeah, I know that. Like again, our both Angela and Braden mentioned about how if they search, sometimes they can search a like Etsy will actually do the search for you, and then she said that also Amazon was helping out and was sweeping their sites. And when she brought to their attention that someone was stealing her art and was posted it on cutting the head off and putting it on their own, on a generic looking cat or a dog or anything else like that. But she was able to spot her art, and she said that Amazon was pretty proactive. She says it's a problem, and because it takes a lot away from the artist itself. I mean, that's it's like stealing a movie from a BitTorrent site.
Hey,
Mm.
now I'm wondering, like, if you get your stuff licensed, if you can get some of your images licensed, then that company might be able to protect you
Um, so
or fight for you or something. I don't.
when you do work, I mean, when's the best time for you? I mean, what's the perfect setting for you to get your mindset?
So, so I don't have the perfect space right now. It's a multifunctional room that's my wardrobe room, and I live in a 200-year-old house, and so you had to bring in your own closets, like IKEA closets, and so it's that. So I would have more room in here if these my wardrobe closets didn't have to be in here. So and it's that, and um, I don't have room. One time when I did a big painting, I sat on the floor and did it, but I don't prefer that, and so it's not about the space. I have a little altar, like altar to creativity that I finally cleared away a tabletop for that because that's important to kind of start like setting a mood for it.
I love the
And
name.
what?
I love the name, the altar of creativity. I love that.
Yeah. And so oh yeah. So actually, I just am and the seventh day of it was a free online art retreat, uh, and hosted by Women Unleashed. They had a big Facebook group, big book group, and free online. It was so helpful it's really helpful for identifying meeting your creative spirit, identifying the cycle of creativity and its 4 energies, which is queen energy, warrior energy, lover, and mystic, and each one represents something in the creative cycle. And we learned about that, and making a commitment to our creative spirit. Like we did this visualization where we actually met our creative spirit and making a commitment, and we said vows to our creative spirit.
Um,
And so to get people, and then I didn't watch tonight yet, but to get people, and we made a plan. And the warrior thing is about making boundaries, and then making a commitment to a daily practice. So I would do art like maybe 5-6 hours one day, and then not do art maybe the next day, and kind of things. I would just work like that a lot. So now I'm more I do couch art. See, I like sitting on the couch and doing art. Um, so that's perfect for my iPad. But I also have a special art bag that I can take to the couch and do couch art. And I so, but if I want to do bigger paintings, and when I ever have to film, I work at a certain table in my room, and then the mindset is not when you develop a creative practices, you can try to establish a ritual that will help you with it. But for the most part, I just I'm committed to it. I'm just like, okay, I I, I don't make it the same time. I'm only starting to beginning to try to develop a daily art practice that I maybe would commit to on a more daily regular basis. And so that's so I was able to I did 3 hours yesterday in the morning and 3 hours in the night, and I'm happy if I did 6 hours worth of art yesterday, and I so so it's the mind. You can't wait for inspiration. See, inspiration happens while you're working. Actually, it visits you while you're working. But if I want to get inspired, the thing that actually inspires me the most is if I could look at older artwork, and I'm like older artwork that I've done, I can be inspired by stuff I've done in the past and say, oh, I think I could do something in a different direction, or that gives me an idea like there. But I also love looking at other people's artwork, and that gives me inspiration too.
who are some of the other modern artists that you admire?
The,
Are you
there's a,
classical? Are you classical? Do you like the classical or more modern art?
no, right now I'm at all along the way I have been. Like I used to love Georgia O'Keeffe. She's probably one of the first artists I really loved, but actually Salvador Dali was, I think, the first artist that I liked. And then I really loved, and soon after that, I loved Georgia O'Keeffe. And then I never really loved, but I love Monet better than Van Gogh. I mean, I just don't know why. So I don't know. So, I mean, I not that I mean, just his art is I just like Monet better than Van Gogh. I can appreciate Van Gogh, but so, and then those along the way have been inspirations. But then more contemporary, or when I went into graduate school, they exposed us to tons of all these contemporary artists. And then more recently, I'm I'm not inspired by famous people in the art world. Like, actually, my art news didn't come. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I ordered it a few months ago, and I'm like, all right, and then I just looked about a week ago, and it said I was going to get it October 16th. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to call them. Yeah, so I recently got a subscription to Art News because I just kind of want to keep up on art.
Sure.
I think I need to be more. I need to learn. I need to keep up more on that. That's something. And then, but besides that, the artists that I follow the most are like contemporary artists that they're not super famous. They kind of have a big they might have a big social media following and like that.
Um, Bones is saying here, the art it's a place where your other pieces are held. Is it called Arts of America?
No, it's called Fine Art America.
Fine Art America. Okay, Mr.
Oh,
Bones.
I don't know if you'll be able to find me there because I don't have the same name there.
Oh, what do you call it?
I
What
don't know. I
name?
forget what I call it. You don't have to post that link. I don't remember the name of that. So
Okay, okay, we'll skip that. Um, who? I mean, how about today's world? I mean, is there any artists that you like today? Is there anybody that among your peers that
yeah, they're
you
kind of
admire?
like among my peers. Is that what you want me to name some people's names?
Yeah, let's give them some props. Like Mary, I'm sure you like Mary's work, right?
Oh, I love her. Yes, I love her. She's very good with a realistic. Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna hype up Mary. What about Cab Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
I
talk about
love his
Cab Pro.
his oil pastel drawing, his oil pastels, and then his oh, I love that whale, the orca whale that was coming out of the water, and yeah, and his landscapes. He did a lot. Yeah, I love his landscapes.
See who else? Who else we could talk about? Um,
Well, there's
Pete Prozac.
oh she has made jewelry in the past, but and then I've never seen her jewelry actually. She used to talk about how she makes jewelry, but I never saw any of her jewelry. But she's creative, like in doing what, like oh, she made some embroidered stickers for me one time, and a little, and then and some kind of crocheted crocheted ornament one time too. And
See
but
now we just put Pink Prozac on the clock. Now she's gonna come up with some. She's gonna have to come up with some cool stuff. Uh, that's awesome. That's what I talk about. Just I just want to know among some of your peers. And let me ask you this question because we're running out of time here. But let me ask you this question because I asked this yesterday. And I think this is gonna be a really good question to ask. What makes art to you? What makes art so? Why is art so subjective, in your opinion?
oh, is this the question you ask every artist?
No, this. I mean, I
I
asked it
heard you
yesterday
ask
for the
her
first.
last night. Her
Yeah,
brain.
and I thought, that's a really good question because I'm going to get a different answer from everybody.
So what do you say? What makes art so subjective?
Yeah, in your opinion, why is art so subjective?
Because it's not the artist's job to tell you what their art is about. It, it's most artists say um they allow it. In fact, the viewer is always right. The viewer, that's one philosophy. The viewer's always right. I've heard that quote before. The viewer's always right. That you can, it's not up to the artist to say, no, that's not what I was doing. No, that's not what I was doing. Oh, yes, you're correct. You're correct. No artists do that. I mean, so not in the fine arts. I mean, maybe, architects and stuff like that, but fine arts, like, it's not up to, it's most artists will agree it's not up to them to tell you what to see in their art, because people you I can't you show a piece of art to somebody, and like one person's going to see one thing and respond to one thing, and the same piece of art, like somebody's going to respond to something else because they're bringing their own experience to it, and they're going to see something in it that you didn't even see or that somebody else even saw. Or
Uh,
that, okay, that, I guess that would be abstract, more kind of abstract, but if it's like totally like realistic, then it's like, well, that brings up this memory to me, and that brings up that memory, and everybody's gonna,
yeah, I get it. Uh, we have some time for some quick questions for our guest, Diana. If you guys would like to drop her a couple of questions, she'll be happy to answer them if she can. Mary's laughing. Hi, Katie. Hi, John. Welcome. Oh, thanks for coming in for the support. That's awesome. So we're talking to here on Artist Week. We're talking to Artfully Blind with Diana. She has showed us some of her fantastic work. Yeah, it's beautiful. You love trivia games. What? Tell us a little bit about your. Sometimes you play trivia day night on your trivia
I
night or
like,
day on
um
your YouTube channel.
I haven't done that in a while, but yeah. Yeah, I did that for like 3 or 4 months straight every Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then I kind of and then I made it be art games, and then I um I like Pictionary too. I like drawing the picture and people have to try to guess. It's not just trivia, but I don't like trivia when it's like super hard and you can never get any of the questions right. I like it when you can get some of the questions right. And or you mean being hosting trivia?
Yeah, you hosted. You're a fine host. I really enjoyed that.
Oh,
But
thank you.
I think I actually won one night, and then I came close the other night.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Yeah, I can't. I think I got one, and then the other one I got caught
Mm.
from behind. Someone caught me, and they got me. Uh,
Oh, so yeah, so
Maybe you'll
I
pick it up
guess
and do it again in the
yeah,
wintertime.
yeah, yeah, like yeah, it usually works out for me on a Saturday night is a good time to do it.
Okay, okay. So when I start seeing you do the trivia again, I'll let people know. I'll let folks know that you're doing that, and I'll come over myself with the cheetah, and
No,
now
maybe I just message you ahead of time that I'm gonna be doing it.
now if we win, do we win art?
There see, I've offered different kinds of prizes.
I never saw that. I never saw any prizes because if I know that you were
I know
offering
some
art.
no, I don't always offer prizes. Some nights
Oh,
I
okay.
would offer prizes, other nights I wouldn't. And then when the nights that I did offer prizes, they would be a variety. They could be different prizes. Like for a while there, if somebody won, they would get if they were a channel, if they were a creator, content creator, then I they would get a shout out for their channel. I would make them a video. I would make them a short video shout out. And that's one prize I've given. Sometimes only every now and then, probably for a celebration, give Amazon gift card. And then um, if I do give art, it's going to have to be like a hand painted kind of thing that fits in an envelope.
Right. Because if you ever offer that, I'll be savage. I'll be honest with you. I will win because I want to win that. Don't stand in the way. Don't stand in my way because I have a cheetah and I will unleash him.
And
Yeah,
you're good at trivia.
your trivia nights are really fun.
Are you good at trivia?
It all depends what's being offered. If I'm being offered some art by you, hell yeah, I'm good at it. I definitely would bring the noise for that. Uh, but of course, I'm sure there'd be other people I know in this chat itself that would be, well, like, you know what? Hell no, I'm gonna go. I'm winning. Um, so it would be a lot of fun. Um, I'm. Does anybody have any questions? Uh, Diana has a YouTube page. Mr. Bones has been dropping the link down. So if you have not connected to Artfully Blind with Diana, please do so and do what you need to do. You need to watch one or two videos of 3 minutes or more and leave a nice comment. Please do that. Please do that. And then, and like I got caught, I go over there and I look at her page and I watch, and then I admit I was remiss. I did not leave comment, not enough. So don't be me. Do not don't be Patrick. Um, when you go over there to Diana's page, and like I said, that her and Mary from Pittsburgh Artist Studio,
Artist
they do a lot of
studio.
collabs together. So
Yeah, every Tuesday, and usually it's been 6 p.m. every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do arting live stream where and but we might I'm looking at like the way Tuber Chat does, like so he can accommodate different parts of the world because I do have a number of UK Europe friends that I feel like I could have more people at my live stream if they could come. So I
yes.
mean that I might sometimes I'm gonna have to. I think I'm going to fluctuate. Sometimes make it at one, unless one turns out to be a really good. I get really good turnout. I might do 1 o'clock for a few weeks in a row. But yeah, the next one will be next Tuesday. But it's up in the air whether it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6 p.m.
Well, people who go over there and connect with you will hit the notification bell, and they will definitely get told when that will happen. Yeah, I'm with you. I also, like I said, I do some UK shows, and I mean, we
Yeah.
we're Eastern. We're gonna lose people. Like when I do the show here at 8 o'clock every night, every week. I know I'm losing a lot of the West Coast people for the live. I have to count on that for the replay because a lot of times they're
Why
still
5 p.m. is not a good time for them?
yeah, on the West Coast, they're still driving home. It's
Oh,
it's 3 hours different. So it's we're here. We start this at 8 o'clock at our time, but back on the West Coast, they're still driving home from work. And so a lot of times that's why we don't get a lot of people from the West Coast on the streams.
Oh, the other
But
kind of live stream that I've been doing once a month, been doing it for 14 months now, is the first Sunday of every month, but now it's going to change. Sometimes it'll be the first Sunday of every month, and sometimes it'll be the first Saturday of every month, because we want to maybe we don't know if that Sunday is always a good time or not, but for the YouTube blind community, I co-hosted with Paul. I gave him an invitation to come here tonight, but Paul's Blind Soup for the Soul, I co-hosted with him on my channel, and we always we have a discussion topic, well, for about anything that pertains to the YouTube blind community, but all are welcome, because the general public is good for education on the general public.
sure,
So
sure.
all are welcome, and we open up the panel for anybody to come up on the panel.
Okay, so that's an important one. We'll make a mention of that on the midnight hour as well. The first Saturday or a Sunday of every
Yeah,
month.
it's either the first, yeah, now, okay, in November, it's gonna be the first Sunday, but in December, it's gonna be the first Saturday.
I can remember that. I will mention that because we're doing our show on Halloween, so it'll be easy to tell people that the next day you'll be doing that show. Oh, your artwork is very good, Mary. I watched a couple of your collaboration shows. I mean, I'm lurking because I really don't know a lot about what I'm seeing. All I know is it's beautiful, but I'll be more vocal now that I'm getting a little bit of an education. I've been really blessed. I'm gonna be bringing more artists to the show too. And
Oh, really? Oh, good.
yep. All right, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank you, the chat, for coming in and supporting Diana and myself. Diana, I cannot thank you enough for showing what your art
Yeah.
talking about. I had such a great time. You're a lovely guest, a lovely person. I'm glad we I'm glad we got to do this. I definitely want to have you come back if you want to come back.
Yes, yes.
Um, please tell your friends and friends. Share us out for replay purposes. That'll be awesome. The more people that watch this stream, the more they'll be introduced to Diana and her work. And that is really the main goal of doing these 8-question show, is to share the person who we're talking about to new people. So I really do appreciate you giving us your time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Every Tuesday. It'll be bouncing around and with Mary and Diana. All right, that's it for us. We'll be here tomorrow night for She Wins. Our Rico and Dizzy will be here at 8 o'clock.
Are they an art channel?
Yes, they do digital. They're computer. I guess it would be CGI, computer generated art. He's an animator. So they do some really cool stuff. He's pretty modern. If you'd like to come by, Diana, I will definitely send you. If you'd like to come by, I'll definitely send you the link. If you're not too busy, I'll do that. I'll send it to you on Instagram. All right, we're gonna put it all Diana.
Bye, everybody.
Yep. Good night. Stay right where you're at, Diana.
Why, there's an after show?